Our next keynote is going to talk about going global. It's a little loud, sorry. Going global, a case study, 4 countries in 1 year. His name is Shahar Waiser. He's a serial entrepreneur and investor and founded and built 6 companies. So I'm sure there's been lots of ups and lots of downs, but very successful entrepreneur. For example, one company is called GetTaxi, which is disrupting the taxi space in Europe and the US. Another one is Vigoda.ru. It's the Russian Groupon. Please welcome, round of applause, if you guys are still awake. Applause, let me hear it. Shahar.
Hello, everyone. We'll talk today about going global, and we'll take a case study of GetTaxi, and I think we'll try to share what we learned by doing 4 countries in 1 year. Lots of lessons learned, and I hope we'll gain a lot from this presentation. I don't like a boring presentation myself, so I will try to be dynamic, and we'll show you a few interesting examples and data that might be valuable, I hope. So let's start by the video.
Getting a taxi is a concept as old as time. Even before the invention of the wheel, people have been getting taxis to take them where they want to go. With the evolution of technology throughout the ages, taxis have evolved as well. But the concept of how you order a taxi, strangely, has not. You could either try to hail one with your hand, or pick up the phone and stay on hold forever. Well, not anymore. Introducing GetTaxi, the service that allows you to instantly order and track your taxi right from your smartphone. Ordering your taxi has never been easier. You can let GetTaxi pinpoint you or use the location finder to pick from popular places and landmarks around you. The smart radar will show you available taxis in your area, and once your ride is confirmed, you'll get all the driver's information as well as be able to track your taxi as it makes its way to you. Paying has never been easier. You can pay in cash or go cashless and use your credit card with no extra charges. No more phone calls. No more waiting in line. Just click the GetTaxi button and your taxi is as good as there. Download GetTaxi today for free. We're currently available in Moscow, Israel, London, and the US. Get smart. GetTaxi.
Thank you. Thank you. I really need your help for a second. Can you please raise hands, those of you who used taxi at least once during the last months? At least once during the last months. Please raise your hands. This is usually the picture, actually even more, is that taxi is very massive service. It's as much mass market as it just could go. Food and telecom is another one that is as massive as that. So originally we thought that we can launch the service that will be used by everyone. In theory, every country is the same and everyone needs the taxi service. So from day one, we have this global vision of how we build a company from day one that will be used in many countries, basically in all capitals of the world. How to build a company from day one that will be available in London, France, Italy, Russia, US. So one of those decisions we'll see today in how we perform, but we learn a lot during doing this. Can we go with the flicker? Okay. So we had this vision of having the app so you can travel in your own city, but if you fly to London to Olympic Games, or if you travel to Israel, or if you do shopping in New York, you can always use the same app in your language and get the service perfectly. So for that, we said, okay, we build a company from day one to be global, and we took a few decisions we'll discuss today that help us to do and achieve our goal. Today, if you download GetTaxi and you travel in London, or if you come to Israel, or if you travel to Moscow, St. Petersburg since last week, you can always get a GetTaxi service. So to make that, And you can see every 3 months we launch new country, new city. So it was a very interesting year. We learned a lot, and I want to tell more about it. So, but before, let's see what the GetTaxi is all about, and we'll take this as an example. So first of all, the market is really huge. It's one of those examples then you really want to think about going global. As the previous speaker said, it's not always as sexy as it looks like. Going global is not always as good and as needed as you really think. Most of the people don't travel, most of the people don't roam. So if you think that you get some advantage by being global, sometimes it's not right. In case of GetTaxi, we really saw a huge market of $30 billion, and we understood that yes, it's justified to go that global as much as possible. So we discussed, it's really simple, and we try to build the app that will be used in every country, and everyone will be easy to use and understand how to make it. Clearly, it's easy for everyone, and we try to do the service where you have one button, and on your own language, you don't know where you are, you don't know the addresses, you might not speak the language. So if you travel to London and you have an app in Russian, you will still be able to use it. If you come to Israel, still in Russian, you can order a taxi without knowing where you are. Driver, this is how it looks for the driver side. From day one, we developed some software and hardware that we put in every taxi that want to work with us. And since that, in 1 minute, they connect to the global grid, which called GetTaxi, and they might start getting job immediately. So one of the decisions we took from day one, and this one is important, is instead of just developing the app that every driver will download, we said in some markets, such as Russia and Ukraine as well, or in Israel back then, the penetration of smartphone wasn't that big, and we wanted actually every driver to connect to our system without any prerequisites. So we went extra mile by developing also our customized hardware, and today we able to give a hardware with the software that looks like this to every driver who wants to connect. So nothing needed from the driver. It's legal to drive. Basically, if you have a car and you're a taxi driver and you want to join GetTaxi, you get this device, plugs, and you're done. Another one that is important for our global strategy, and we'll talk about it later, why it's helpful. From day one, we realized that actually what we do, and in many cases I saw the same example, what you do sometimes is really on agenda of any city authority. That might be very helpful if you participate and you work with the legislation very closely. So from day one, we recognized that actually GetTaxi helps a lot to city authorities, because every city wants to make a public transportation more useful, more efficient. Everyone has an agenda that you keep your private car at home and you use public transport, such as taxi, and it's just safer and better. So when we come to city, we actually work closely with the city authorities, Bloomberg in New York, or Mayor of London, or Tel Aviv, and they help us a lot to launch our vision. So thanks to them, and in many cases it's true, is that after 1 year we are available in all those cities. This is how it looks in terms of growth. Every 3 months we launch new city. You see St. Petersburg is in the list. We actually launched last week. So today you can add St. Petersburg to the list of cities where you can get a service. New York is our next target, not a simple one, but it's the next one. Also, when we started, some of the companies in the world, in Israel, London, and Russia, they said, look, we want the same service. We love what you do, and we love how it looks like. So how we, as a business, can use GetTaxi for taxi services? And we developed from day one also the business solution. So since then, we gained more than 500 enterprises, including Google, Pricewaterhouse, Disney, and many other names that actually use GetTaxi, including Goldman Sachs, Warner Music, and some others who exclusively using GetTaxi as their transport need. We launched in Russia just 6 months ago, and after 6 months, we have some amazing customers we are happy to provide the service for, DHL and some others. Oops. Few visuals. This is how it looks in Moscow. Every city is different. We found that there is no such thing as being global with the same product. Unfortunately, I would love to see the same app, the same company works all the same in every country. Unfortunately, we almost customized the service, the pricing, the structure, the way it works in every country, every time from the beginning. So in Russia, for example, for the marketing purposes, we took few Mercedes S-Class. And we suggested that it was basically like a Russian roulette. So when you order a GetTaxi, you had a chance that you will get the Mercedes S-Class for the same price you pay for the regular taxi. So people was really amazed by doing this. And you know, the funny stories was then the person get the taxi like this, and the driver in the suit come out and open the door, really going nuts. So the most stories was, we actually wanted to pull a camera in the taxi and film them, because all the 1 hour they drive, they were calling the family, friends, Facebook, Contact, everything, just telling about how it looks like. This is how it looks in London. As you see, completely different picture. Those are black cars in London, and we use them as our cars. This is the Israel. This is the most interesting slide I want to talk today about, and actually this is our main message today. I want just to go over what we did right and what not, and what, if you look to build your business to be global, what you can take from that. So first of all, the key markets. Many times I ask my colleagues or companies we invest to partnership is, why do you want to go global? What is the reason? Sometimes it's just an unconscious solution. We want to be global and want to go there as soon as possible. But reality is, it's not sexy. It actually takes more effort. Then you launch a second country. The effort you invest is actually 10 times as much as if you do one country. Because since you did the second country, you need to hire people remotely. You have to monitor and actually combine your financial reports, legal structure, and hiring, which makes it really difficult. So unless your market is really small, one of the good examples is Israel. Amazing market. Usually it's very useful to launch a service in Israel, but the bad news, the market is really small. So you actually push to think global, and you want to go global pretty quickly. But in markets like Russia, for example, or Ukraine, the market itself is big enough to monetize your potential there first and then go global. Once again, local versus global. Sorry for repeating, just think again, why do you want to go global? Because once you do that, you stretch your resources, both legal, management, product, everything. There will be no second thing such as the same product. And you will need to stretch. And if your market is big enough, I would highly recommend to penetrate until you really get the highest penetration, perfect product, amazing team, and then you can go global. Scale. I mentioned from day one for GetTaxi, we said, okay, our vision is that you take a GetTaxi app and you can travel everywhere. You enjoy using the service in your city, but you can go to Moscow, you can go to London, you can go to every city, hopefully to Paris and Italy, everywhere, and you will get the same service. It was a big vision, and from day one, we said, okay, we need to establish the company that will be global, means product will be global, some functions will be global, accounting will be global, financial reports, legal, everything. That decision alone cost us tons of money from one hand and tons of effort even before we started. Now, in most cases, as you know, when you do the startup company, when you launch your first product, it has pretty high chance that it will not get any traction. So usually the right advice will be, okay, let's start by small launch in your country, see how it goes, and then go global. The disadvantage, when you decide to go global, it's too late to restructure your company. But if you start by global and you don't have still proof that your model works, you might invest a lot of money and effort for nothing. So lucky enough in GetTaxi, it wasn't our first company, so we took this risk and we put our own money behind it, because when we started, me and my business partner, we put some few millions behind it, just because no one from investor was ready to put money just back then, because GetTaxi was the first to do that. There was lots of insurance, if it works, how it works, what the traction will be. And it was a balance. Okay, we want to risk more, but do it right from day one. It helped us today, back looking back then. So from day one, we took this decision, but once again, I would highly recommend to consider that before. However, what does it mean to create a global structure? It's that the finance and legal, those are things that actually suffer you the most. Because if you go global later stage, you can move your IP and intellectual rights to the holding company to build your tax structure right. It will be too late. So if you're really confident in your model, you have to be consulting with the financial model and legal to make it from day one. I was surprised so many times to see companies that already operate global, but operate not efficient in terms of legal and corporate structure. Team and execution. Actually, I want to put it first. If I would give only one example and one advice about going global, I would maybe not discover anything new for you by saying team, team, team. But for me, I'm taking it like the #1 and the only success factor. Every time we launch something, we did any business, we found that the places where we succeed, where the team was great. There was not anything else. The market might be amazing, you might have amazing product, but if your execution local team is not strong enough, you're done. You're done. That's the only thing that matters. Now, then you go global, you might optimistically think that you will find the best team, you know how to hire, you know how to find talents, but that's everyone fighting for, right? That's the only thing that matters. We did Vigada, for example, which is a Groupon business model, and we launched in 94 cities. Today we closed 15 of them after operational control. Some of them are very profitable, some are not. The only cities that are not profitable is not those who are small or not successful, is that the team was weak. That's the only thing that matters. So now when you do local company, you might find a great team because you usually surround by great people in mind, because you grow like being entrepreneur, so you know people and you can attract them because you might have this passion and idea to grab people around you who will believe, but then you go to US, how you do that? In US, there are amazing companies themselves who struggle to find a talent. You want to launch in US, how you do that? And for me, it comes to the, actually today when I have to decide about the opening a new country, the only one decision we do is either we have a talent to lead. And we don't open operation until we have a talent, not the other way around. Many companies say, okay, we go France, we go Russia, we go China, we go US, and then they start to hire people. It never works. You have to find a talent and create a company and service around it. I will give you an example of GetTaxi and how we went to US. US is a very difficult market, and though I had a previous experience in building company and selling company in US, I even didn't imagine to go to US too early. What's happened to us is then GetTaxi became popular and we got a lot of press and TechCrunch, etc. Many people contact us offering their services and just willing to join and work for GetTaxi. And I got one interesting email, which actually changed everything. So I didn't plan to go to US, by no means. I did want to go to US, but I could not plan that. Until I got this email. The girl called Jing, who sent me an email from New York, and she was like, I'm your girl for New York. It was on LinkedIn email, cold call, and the girl is absolutely amazing. And you read her resume, you can't believe you can find such a talent. So she's the youngest in the history of JP Morgan. She got the vice president title of JP Morgan in 26 or something. She was selected by Forbes, 30 women, most impressive woman in the high-tech and investment business in New York at the age of 30. And to be completely perfect, she loves taxis. Up to the point that she made a driving license, taxi driving license in New York, and got a special permission from JP Morgan to work once in a week as a taxi driver because she loves that. That crazy. So even if I dream about finding such a person, I couldn't imagine a profile like this, right? So obviously, as soon as I got her, we got in contact, and she was dreaming about building GetTaxi company 3 years ago, but didn't have a guts or financing to make it through. The time she found GetTaxi, she wanted to join us. And obviously, once I have Jing, that's the only time we decided to go to New York, because I have a talent and a truly leader who can make it. Looking back, that's just thanks to Jing. We are now ready to launch in New York, and we will do that soon. But sorry for like spending 5 minutes around that. I truly believe there is nothing else. There is nothing else. Just one simple advice is that just a team. If you don't have a right person locally, you can't. Don't even think about launching there. Capital rising. Once again, once you decide to go global, you have to plan your resources right, because you might be stretched too much, and whatever you plan might not go as you want, and you have to have a double financing. So if you don't have right financing, once again, don't stretch your resources, neither product or capital. Open to change. Many times, people think, okay, I have something working perfectly in my country or in my city, and other countries works the same. We found with GetTaxi, which is as similar, I ask you a question, who is using GetTaxi? Everyone raised hands, right? Everyone, I see it everywhere. So everyone using GetTaxi, so everyone understands what I'm talking about, but still, it's so different. If you go to London, if you go to Russia, it has such nuances. So you have to be open and plan in advance that you will actually localize all your product many times. Innovative marketing. Look, the noise today, to make noise about your company is something almost impossible, right? It costs you a fortune. You have to be clear about your marketing strategy time before you go other countries. If you did not find it out how you do in your country, how you grab entire market with a little of resources, you can't think about going global. It costs you a fortune. Find this magic in your place and then go fortune. For us, when we launched GetTaxi in Israel, just 12 months ago when I was driving a taxi or taking a taxi or asking people, very few knew what the GetTaxi is. Today, if you're in Israel, there is nothing else but just GetTaxi. If you just go around, you see GetTaxi everywhere. You click a button, 3 minutes, you get a taxi. 3 minutes everywhere in Israel, from north to south, you get taxi in 3 minutes. 1 year. We found the magic how to penetrate that market, and we said, okay, we have something, we have to localize it to other markets, but we might have a strategy how to go viral in other places. For us, I can share the example of us. For us, the magic was the product. If we had to spend any amount of money for the marketing, we don't do that, and we spend it on product. We believe if the product is right, if it's sexy enough, it's good enough, or actually beyond that enough, then people talk about it, they use it, and that's what creates the virality. So every money we had, we spent on product, until it got to the point it's got really viral. Global ambitious and energy. Okay, if after all you still want to do it, then obviously the passion and energy, that's what you need. The amount of work you're going to have just by going second country, I mentioned it before, it's 10 times more than being in one country. So whenever you think about it, be ready for that. Okay, just to make it interesting, we created a free code for you for 100 first participants who download GetTaxi now and put this code. You will get a free rides. At least 100 of you who will do that will get that. I really wish one day you will be travel any other place we operate today and you can experience what we do and try it yourself. It's a little magic. Actually, you know, every time I'm excited when you click GetTaxi and you have that magic of bringing piece of metal to where you are whenever you need it. It's really magic. So for me, it's experience. I want you to share this experience. Try that. You can try it actually now, not in Kyiv, please. Yet. I talk about team. Jing is the second, is the one who is really the magic here. Once again, I was lucky to have Jing, and if not Jing, I couldn't think about going global to US. And actually, in every country, we found this talent to make the magic. Once we do that, I think once again, if you invest in your product, invest in your team, then you have actually the community love, because that's the only thing that matters. I believe the mobile and the internet is actually the only one democratic place where people stay with you, use your product just because you have amazing product. Otherwise, they leave. So if you want really going global, do amazing things, is just focus on team, focus on product, make it right. So thank you very much. I hope it was, something else. Thank you.